there, welcome to another episode of Asexualise, my asexual life. This is the place to be for education about asexuality, all things asexual, and I share my own asexual life journey in order to help you in yours. If you haven't already subscribed, please hit the great big subscribe button below right here, right now. Please hit that bell icon to get notified of every time I go live like now or post a new video. And don't forget to give this video a thumbs up if you find the content useful, helpful, insightful in any way, shape or form, or you just want to give this channel some love. I really do appreciate you from the bottom of my heart. So if you didn't know who I am Sandra Bellamy, and this is the first book I ever brought out for Asexuals, called Asexual Perspectives, 47 Asexual Stories, Love, Life and Sex, a celebration of asexual diversity. Now this came out in 2017, it still sells to this day, and there's 47 real asexual stories in it. If you didn't know, I do have my own publishing imprint. I'm a registered publisher in the UK under the name of Quirky Books. So this book, for example, and also my fibromyalgia book that I brought out last year, which asexuality is actually mentioned in this book. So a whole new load of people who are not asexual that read this book will know about asexuality now, which is great to raise awareness of it. Both of these books have got their own ISBNs. They can be got on Amazon, or they can be also ordered from local bookstores, any good bookstore. So why is this important to know? It's important to know because I'm spreading the awareness of asexuality. This is the point, Asexuality needs as much publicity and promotion and awareness raised as much as possible. So by having my own publishing company and being a registered publisher, not only is that a dream come true for me under Quirky Books, which I became a published author when I published this book in 2017. Oh, hi, Ray. Hi, Sandra. I see you. Oh, lots of love, Ray. Lots of love. Thanks for the thumbs up. It's wonderful to see you too. I know I can't see you, but I'll be seeing you definitely sometime late this month, definitely on video chat. With this book, I brought it out in 2017. Like I was saying, I got my own publishing company. And because I'm a registered publisher in the UK, by law, I have to give X amount of books to British libraries. So there's actually... Oh, hi, Liam. Hi, Sandra. You look amazing. Oh, thank you. You're such a sweetheart. Lots of love to you. Lots of love to you. So this book came out in 2017. Like I said, my own publishing company. And what's good about this is that I have to give 6 copies of each book I publish with my own ISBN to libraries, including the British Library. And the British Library said that anyone who sends a book in, anyone who's a publisher basically, their books will go down as a part of British heritage to live on for years, And I just feel so happy that it doesn't matter what happens to me. Years later, I will still be helping asexuals. People will still find this book long after I'm gone. And I'll still be able to help these people. Now, why is this important? Because a lot of asexuals feel alone, they feel broken, they feel lost, and they feel, that there's no one like them. I used to think that when I first came across asexuality, before I realised I was asexual, found asexuality, I thought I was the only one in the whole world, planet, universe that didn't want sex. Now, for me, I have a slightly different story to some asexuals, and the fact that I have had sex before. And you might think, well, why, if you're asexual, did you ever have sex in the first place? Isn't that a bit wrong or weird or disgusting or not right? Or what's going on with that? Surely maybe you can't even be asexual if you had sex before. And that's not true, right? I need to really bust through this myth and stereotype, right? Some asexuals have had sex before. And the reason we have is because we've got into relationships with sexuals at some point in our life who expect sex, who want it, who need it. And society doesn't tell us we can be any different. Society dictates to us in order to have a loving, happy, healthy, committed relationship, we have to have sex within that relationship. Otherwise, basically, it's not a relationship. And that is disgusting. And that is what I need to stop as much as possible. I need to raise awareness that that isn't love. Sex and love are 2 different things, right? And so is asexuality is different to abstaining from sex. It's different to celibacy, because with asexuals, we don't force ourselves to not have sex, but a lot of the time some of us do push ourselves to have sex because of society dictating to us how it should be, how relationships should be. And this is why it's not good. right? So if you didn't already know, I have written a book. Well, I'm writing a book. Thank you for the thumbs up. Love you lots. I'm writing a book called Asexual Guide to Sex. And I asked for interviewees for this in June 2020, 2019, sorry. We're now in June 2020. So it's a year on. So I wanted to let you know what was happening with that book, right? So when I first advertised that I needed asexuals to take part in the book, obviously every person that's in the book is an asexual who has had sex or is having it, right? So you need to know that. And it had a title change. It was originally going to be called Asexual Sex Stories, The Good, the Bad and Ugly. Now it's Asexual Guide to Sex, and Asexual Sex Stories part of the subtitle, right? So people have still got their stories in, but it's even better because it gives help, advice and guidance all about sex for asexuals if they want to try it. Now, this book is not telling asexuals that they should have sex. Far from it. In fact, it's saying, please, if you're even considering having sex as an asexual, do not do it until you've read this book. Make sure that you understand what you're letting yourself in for, emotionally, mentally, and physically. It's to save a lot of asexuals pain. That's what it's to do, and to protect us and keep us safe as much as possible. This is why I wrote the book, because how it came about was one of my friends, they messaged me on Facebook, and they're actually an aromantic asexual, and they lack romantic attraction as well as sexual attraction. And they messaged me and said, hey, Sandra, what if I wanted to have sex, wanted to try sex, what would I do? And it never occurred to me that any asexual would actually want to try sex, even though I had had that in the past myself. And then I began to see in forums all the questions people had about who are asexual about, had about sex, or the awkwardness they felt about it, and they didn't understand what to do with their arms and legs. And and then I know an asexual person who then was having unprotected sex. I know some other people that I met who are asexual, they were having unprotected sex. It's because they've never had sex before. It's like, well, I'm asexual and they don't really know what they're doing. And, all of a sudden I was seeing all these dangers, and there were people messaging me from different cultures and religions and stuff. And they were saying to me, like, Sandra, my culture dictates that I get married, and I'm going to get married to a sexual guy, and I don't know what to do. I don't understand how sex works. I'm quite frightened. I'm scared about it, but I will go through with it because it's my parents' wishes. And I'm getting messages like that. And I'm like, well, what am I supposed to do? Am I just supposed to ignore all those people? Because they're still asexual and they deserve a voice just as much as all the asexuals that don't want sex deserve a voice. Because that's what I do on this channel. I don't serve just one particular type of asexual. I help all asexuals across the whole asexual spectrum. And even if sexuals come and ask me some questions, I'll do my best to help them as much as possible. Because only by helping sexuals understand asexuality better can we actually help spread the awareness of asexuality and get it recognised seriously as a sexual orientation throughout the globe. It's very, very important. It's very important that we get this done. So the Asexual Guide to Sex book came about because of all these things, because there is a need for this type of book. And I know from the success of my last Asexual Guide to Sex, which does talk a bit about sex and what it's like and the experiences of some asexuals, but it doesn't go into depth like the Asexual Guide to Sex book does. The Asexual Guide to Sex book is purely focused on, oh, hi, Sam. Lovely to see you. I'm Skyping with you soon. Nice to see you. You look very good in your captain uniform. Lots of love to you. And so, this is how the book came about, because I had all these people, and I don't think that any particular asexual should be treated any better or differently or given more voice than the other asexuals. I probably, to be honest, I'm going to own up, I probably do talk a lot more about romantic stuff on this channel, because I am a romantic asexual. I'm not an aromantic asexual, and I do specialize in dating and relationships. So I do talk a lot more about romantic and dating and relationships. So I do admit that, but I don't think that any asexual deserves less of a voice than the other. So therefore, with my Asexual Guide to Sex book, is to help all those asexuals that are thinking about having sex for the first time in their life, or maybe even just want to try some sexual acts. There's questions in there about sexual acts. So even if asexuals aren't wanting to do full sexual intercourse, maybe they don't understand about what sexual acts are, what they could possibly do, because some asexuals don't mind doing certain things to please their partner, but some asexuals are penetration repulsed, but don't mind doing some other sexual things. And it gives advice in the book about that. So you might be thinking, like, a year later, what's happening? So, like I said, I put out the request for people to help with this book in June 2019. It's now June 2020 when I'm recording this live. And all of a sudden on asexualistic.com, I posted a post in there. Obviously, like, well, it was July last year I posted the actual post, July 2020. And yeah, it was just incredible. Like, all of a sudden, like last month, the post was revived. Someone happened to see it and they're like, oh, can I please be in your book? You're a woman who wants to help. Oh, thank you, Liam. Lots of love. Thank you so much. Yeah, I want to help all asexuals. And I want to help bridge the gap between sexuals and asexuals. I want to create more understanding. It's really important. It's really important. And the more sexuals I get to accept asexuality, the better. It's really important. So yeah, so basically, so with this book, yeah, so with this Asexual Guide to Sex book, like I don't know how it happened, but last month someone saw the post and they're like, can I still be in the book? Or is it too late? Can I still be in there? And because I've had other work going on, right, I wanted to get this book out. I'll be honest with you, I've repeated it before in several videos. I wanted this book published in June this year. Clearly it's June already and it's not happened. And to be honest with you, it's likely probably going to be another 2 months before it's out, if I'm lucky, right? But this is positive because I believe in life, everything happens for a reason, right? Everything happens for a reason. I believe the world, planet, universe gives us what we need at exactly the right time that we need it, right? And now I had envisaged for this book, ideally I'd want 20 to 25 people to be in the book, to stories, right? I have to excuse that I live near a train station. I got the window open. So I wanted 20 to 25 stories. Now I got 15 and I thought, well, that's good. The 15 are incredible, right? There is enough information, even with the 15, for people to just have so much insight, have so much like knowledge, have so many experiences through each of the people in the book. Real life asexuals telling their own personal stories. That is just incredible. And I was going to stop there, but as this person asked me and they just told me a little bit about themselves, I just thought, I've got to have this story. So luckily their story didn't need hardly any editing, right? I think it was a couple of times I emailed them. Whereas other people, I've emailed them over 50, maybe 60 times, right? We've done a lot of editing, but this particular story didn't need much editing. And, and so that's, basically ready last month to go in the book. So that's a new one. It's a perfect addition. It really, really does add a lot of flavour to the book. It helps. Their circumstances are very different, right? So it's really, really, really good news. Really, really good news. Yeah. And I like to have more aromantics in the book. So it's really, really good. So I'm really proud and I'm really pleased that's happened. But after that, then all of a sudden in the last 7 days, someone's seen the post again. I've got more people wanting to be in the book. So I said, if anyone else wants to be in the book, they can be in it, but they've got to be asexual on the asexual spectrum. They've got to have had sex before, obviously, and willing to tell their personal story. And they've got to answer 43 questions. The book's sectioned off into different sections. There's one part where they've got less questions, but I really want the more in-depth ones answering now because that's going to be a larger part of the book. I've decided. I mean, I could even it out. But I think because it's all about help, advice, and guidance to do with sex. I think the 43 questions are bigger one. The other people had about 20 in the beginning, so it's kind of sectioned off. But and I have one person who's already got theirs back to me today, and I only gave them out to them yesterday. I've had 2 more people inquire to be in the book today, which I haven't even been able to reply to yet because I've been mega busy. I've had, like I said, I had the person last month was actually going in there, and then there's one other person as well. So, I'm just having a phenomenal response. I've said that 6th of June, that's the cutoff date then, and I'll work on the stories from the 12th of June onwards because I have to finish some work of what I've got to do. So I'm mega, 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 mega busy at the moment with lots of other stuff. The asexual courses, the meetup courses, I'm working hard on the sales pages of those, but instead of just sticking up anything, I want to make sure the sales pages are done as professionally as possible for you, which is what I'm learning the skills for at the moment. Also, I'll need those skills to take me forward to other products and courses and things that I'm going to be doing as well. So my point is though, is obviously I'm probably going to at least have about 20 stories in there, hopefully by the end of, you know, the people wanting to be in the book, which, you know, 20 I think is a really, really good amount. If I get a few more, I get a few more. But, you know, ideally around the 20 mark, you know, but whatever comes. But what I mean is, by everything happens for a reason, is if I hadn't had this extra work, if I hadn't had things delayed, things going wrong with other things not to do with asexual stuff, I had another business which I still haven't launched yet, and there was some technical problems. Now, instead of sorting them out, I went back to doing the asexual stuff I was originally doing before I digressed and did 2 courses for that. So I've completed the courses for that new business, but I haven't launched it yet because there's technical issues that I still need to deal with. So I'm going to deal with them later, because the asexual stuff's a bit more important to me, to get the asexual meetup courses out that people are interested in buying, right? So once I've done them, and then I'll go back to the business thing briefly, and then I'll be literally, once I on the Asexual Guide to Sex, that'll be it. I'll be fully focused on that then, which is more than likely to be, well, I'm going to start focusing that on from the 12th onwards, but I know I've still got some other work, so it's more likely going to be the end of June. So all July I plan to work on it, and then as much of August as I get it out, you know. But I've still got my part of the story, my part of the book, if you like, my story to write. So I haven't even got nowhere near finishing that yet, because I wanted to get everyone else's done first, edited and finalized, you know, and also I can fill in any kind of like gaps there might be, or anything else I have to add in my sections of the book, which is why I wanted everyone else's in first, to make it the best book and Asexual Guide to Sex possible. And obviously, you know, it is a good title, Asexual Guide to Sex, because it will attract sexual people as well as asexual, and that's important because I want sexuals to be able to read the book and flaming understand how different it is being asexual in this highly sexualized world, and how it's really, really important to understand how sex works for asexuals, how we think, feel, and are different about it. The book is super, super insightful, and I cannot stress enough how important it is. So that's what I want to give you a lowdown. I'm still working on it. It's definitely going to be published this year, without a doubt. I will make it priority as soon as I've got these other bits of work out of the way, and one, you know, 2 which help asexuals. So they're not something I really want to get out of the way. There's something I want to launch and put out there for people, so people who want to hold their own asexual meetups have, you know, full confidence that they can do it, whether it's in person or online. They know how to do it, the formula to do it, how I get people to come from hundreds of miles to my meetups, you know, how they can do it too. It's all systemized and everything, you know, over the shoulder, step by step, hand holding. So I know there's people interested in those courses. They really, you know, and it's not just like I did at the Asexuality conference in 2018. I did a whole 45-minute talk on how to arrange an asexual meetup. That was like for beginners. The Asexual Meetup Master course takes it much, much further than that. And the how to arrange a successful online asexual meetup, there's a whole formula, a 7 success step formula that I've created that works for people who are unsure if they can hold their own asexual online meetup, and guarantee to get people to turn up, basically. So I'm really excited for those. They've got to come out. I'm really, you know, because the more meetups we have, the more people feel less alone and have other asexuals to talk to, and have the benefit and company of other asexuals. So it's really, really important that I get those courses out. So I am on the case with the Asexual Guide to Sex book. It is going to come out, but it's going to be even better because everything happens for a reason. If I hadn't had the other work being delayed and other things keeping me busy, I wouldn't have these extra stories going into the book. And I'm just thrilled that more people want to take part in the book than ever before. And well, in recent months anyway, and because obviously it was I didn't promote it anymore, and you know, I'm just really looking forward to getting the book out and making a huge difference in the world to asexuality and even sexuals paths. You know, once they see these books, they're like, my god, I might have a friend like that, a cousin like that, you know, or they'll just open their eyes to a completely new world and understanding of sex and sexuality, and obviously know about asexuality. It's going to be awesome and ace. Anyway, I've got to go. I've got Skype with my best friend Sam in less than a minute. Love you lot. Don't forget to subscribe. Hit the great big bell icons to get notified of every time I go live like now, posting a video. Don't forget Asexual Perspectives. If you want to buy that, link is below in the description. I highly recommend getting that book so you can read the 47 asexual stories in it. And I'll see you later. Thanks, Liam. Thanks, Rory. Thanks, Sam. Lots of love. Subscribe if you haven't already. Give this video a thumbs up, and I'll see you on the next video live stream. Take care. Bye.